Welcome back to another video. So today I have something happy to share with you guys. That is, I won a tournament, runners up technically, but I did win something, and yeah, it's been great. I picked up chess 3 weeks ago after 14 years, and I decided to participate in a tournament like yesterday. And I registered like 20 minutes before the tournament was gonna start, and my mom in fact took me to the tournament, and I did really well. I scored 4.5 out of 5 and got runners up. The first place also was a 4.5, but due to bookholds, I believe I couldn't get it, and I'll get into something I found shady about that as well. And just I'll just rant and also tell you guys what I did, how I did it. And fun fact, I only played one opening the entire time, and I'll tell you what opening that is. We'll get into all of that. And before that, I want to show you how I looked the last time I played chess. So this is me 14 years ago, I believe, or 15, playing chess. And I did in fact hate chess at that point. You can see it on my face. And I think that's because they were forcing me to learn openings, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to play. Chess was like a fun thing I did. And then now I understand why openings are important. And also, YouTube played a major part because a lot of people explain openings in a way that you can understand it rather than just muck it up. So YouTube played a very big part in me liking openings again. And this was yesterday. I was very happy. I was very happy. I felt like I made my mom proud. I feel it's like chess is something she has put a lot more effort in than I have, because she took me to the classes, she took me to multiple places to play tournaments. And this she was there, and she only took me even this time after like 14, 15 years. And I was very happy. I was very happy. So I just want to share that with you guys. And now let's get into the tournament itself. So the tournament was it was 5 rounds, and it was rapid, and it was great. There was decent competition. The highest rated player was around 1975, and yeah, my FIDE rating is 1660, which I only got to know like day before yesterday, which is crazy. So I thought I was around like 15, but apparently I'm 1660 FIDE rated, and I was like, that's so cool. And I haven't even built up my chess.com account to that, which I will. I will. So I've not been playing many games on chess.com. I should and I will, and hopefully we'll take chess.com account 2000 very soon, and that's the goal, and I will be working towards that. Yeah, man, yesterday's tournament was very very fun. And from the first round, I had a lot of fun. Actually, the first round in fact was I played against the coach, whose game I kind of remember, and I've put it through an analysis board. I'm going to show you until a point where you can see that why I was winning. And the last match was very interesting because the player was very strong, but he made a very initial blunder which led me to win the match very easily. So I'll show you that as well. And yeah, man, that's about the tournament. Okay, so before we get into that, let me tell you about what opening I played the entire time. So all 5 rounds, I played just one opening, which is the King's Indian. White Kings Indian attack, black Kings Indian defense. I did not go for anything else. Even though I am comfortable with Caro Khan, I am comfortable with maybe sometimes a Scotch, sometimes Sicilian Dragon, but I don't know. It was all not. I haven't played as many games in the last 2 weeks with those openings, but King's Indian defense is all I've played, and King's Indian attack is all I've played. So I was very confident. I was like, okay, I know this. I can play this quickly, and if I can play the opening quickly, I'll have more time for the middle game and the end game, because I end up thinking a lot during the middle game and end game. And it's 15 minutes without increment, so I had to give my best. And King's Indian just felt like the right opening to do, because King's Indian, you can't blunder a lot of pieces, one, and it's just a very easy opening that anything the opponent plays, you can just play it. So I'll just show you how King's Indian goes if you don't know. So I'll give you a general idea of how the King's Indian works. So let's say the opponent plays e4. As black, you'd play d6 because you don't want them to push e5. And then they go d4, and then you either bring your knight out or push g6. And they have the center in the start. But King's Indian is an opening where you kind of play a little passive and then hit the center. So it somewhat goes like this, and they bring their knights out, you castle, and and then at this point you break in the center. But if the opponent takes it, goes to an end game, like almost immediately. And I mean, it could go to an end game almost immediately. So a lot of people don't do that, and they just push on d5, and you play, let's say, knight d7, and then the castle, and you're kind of in a place now you have to attack the king side. So what the black usually does is goes to knight e8 or knight h5, and starts pushing the so the white can play b4 and start attacking the queen side, and the black goes towards the king side. So this is how it kind of works. You play this, and then you keep pushing and attack the king side, and the white attacks the queen side, and kind of tries to get into your position, and break your stability and all of that. So this is how usually the king's indian is played. And for black, the the system does not really like playing King's Indian for black, but I really like it because, as I had mentioned, I don't blunder as much while playing King's Indian, because it's a very simple concept. You can play it no matter what is played. So I'll show you a few matches that I played in King's Indian attack in white, which is kind of similar to King's Indian defense, but you do it as white. And I'll show you two games that I played, and yeah, this is kind of the idea. If you wanna learn more about King's Indian, I'll maybe make a video of how to play it. But if I learned it from hanging pawns, so I learned it from all the YouTubers out there, and it's just a really nice opening to play. And you can probably just search it up on YouTube, and there'll be a lot of videos. And my personal recommendation is hanging pawns, but it's a hanging pawns video is a little dry. If you want to learn it even in like a fun way, I go for Gotham chess. So, or I'll try to make a video very soon. I'll pick up all the good games that I've played in chess.com, and also any games that I've played IRL, and I'll try to analyze it, and I'll make videos out of it, because this is the opening I have played for almost like 2-3 weeks. So I should be able to tell you guys different things that people play and all of that. So yeah, we'll do that. And now what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna show you two games that I told you about. I've said that like 7 times now. So this game is the person I'm playing against is basically a coach in a chess club. So this was my first match, and I started off my first match in the first board. Yeah, so yeah, I think he was a decently rated player, and I don't remember his rating. I think it was 1617. I'm not sure. And yeah, so the ratings went up onto like 1975. I think there was no one above 2000. So yeah, basically this match was very interesting because that's I went a little late, but I entered exactly when they were gonna start. Let's say it was gonna start at 4, and I was there at 3:59. So I rushed. I took a moment to breathe, and then the match started. So I'll show you. So ChatGPT, chess.com. Sorry, chess.com thinks I played this match with a 91% accuracy, and I've made no blunders, no misses, no mistakes. And the game rating it gives is 2450, which is really good. But the middle game says it's 89.6% accuracy. The thing is, I've not put the whole game in, but I'm showing you until a point where it's a clear win for me. Okay, let's just start. I'll just show you the game. So I started with knight f3, and then he kind of I felt like he was going for like a Sicilian, but and then I just went with my king's Indian attack, very normal. What I usually play against anyone, I just went for it, and this is also considered a part of the Sicilian. And now after this, sorry, after this I have no clue. I don't know what e5 does, but if someone plays e5, I play d3, because I don't want them pushing the pawn to e4 and making my knight to just go away. So after this is just chess. I have an idea of what to do, and I went for it e4, and he played kind of random moves. But I get what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to push the pawn, but he was trying to do it really early, I feel. And then he went there and took the knight, and I was like, okay, I don't want to break my pawn structure or go back. Might as well, either break your pawn structure, or bringing his queen out is actually good for him. But I just went for it anyways. But his pawn structure got fucked, and this is what I was trying to do. ChatGPT thinks it's a bad move, but I just still went for it. And yeah, the game was going pretty normally. And at this point, I actually did not notice that the rook file was open, the A file was open, because usually in like a middle game you don't think the A file is open. And in my head I don't know, I was just kind of hallucinating. I thought there was a pawn in front of it. I didn't see it, and I was like, what is he doing there? Maybe he doesn't want me to move my queen somewhere, and he's going to take on C2. But I didn't go 2 rows. That's it. I did not see that the A2 pawn is kind of hanging. So I could have just pushed A3, but I didn't. So I just went for bishop E3, and he took my pawn. And this was stakes. And this is the point where I actually woke up. I was like, Nishok, you can't be losing the first match you're playing, because that will set the tone for the entire tournament. So you're going to play a very decent match. And I wanted to give my best after this. So I decided to trap the knight, even though he had many ways he could have actually gotten it out. And I think there are actually many ways he could have gotten it out. He put the bishop there, and then I did a great move, which is pawn f5, and his bishop went back, which is a blunder. And at that point is when I got to trap his knight, which I did, and he lost his knight. So this was a coach, and I think he just missed that. And after this, I had his knight. He did take my pawn though, but I had his knight and all of that. And so I couldn't win though, because I was still low on time. And in the end, I think I had like I was either making a queen or I had a queen, and he had like a pawn or two. I had a choice that I had either 14 seconds to play this, 14 or 10 seconds to play this, or I could just sacrifice the queen. And kind of I'm still not very used to playing with the clock, because it's been very long. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna think. So it was a mistake for myself. I should have played on, I should have won, but I didn't. I ended up sacrificing the queen for like 2 pawns, and it was a draw. So that's what happened. And even though I was not very happy with the first round, I was okay. He was still a strong player, who somehow still, caught on to the match really well. Even after losing his knight, he somehow still was in the game for a pretty long time. And then even though I made a queen, it ended up in a draw. Even though I had a winning position, I was okay with that. And that was kind of the first match, and this kind of set the tone for the tournament, because I realized the people are not going to be very easy, as I didn't think they were going to be easy anyways. But yeah, I was like, okay, this is going to be tough. But the next 2 rounds ended up being a little more simple, because the second round I played with someone who hadn't won any match, because I was half a point and they were zero. That was pretty easy. And then when I went to a one and a half, I think I played with someone who had won one match, which is also pretty chill actually. So it was a kid who I played against. So even though the kid played really well, I had a relatively easy game, I'd say, and I won that as well. And the third match is was I could have just won it normally, but the game was going on, and my opponent's phone rang, or alarm rang, I'm not sure, and he was disqualified immediately. So I was like, damn, that's intense. So I ended up at 3.5 points already. So I had one more game, and at this point, I was 4 matches down, and I had 3.5 points. So if there were two other people who were at 3.5 points. So for me, I was playing at board one. So if I my opponent was also 3.5 points, and I had to win that match to either be first or second, because board two also someone was playing at 3.5 points. So my full goal was just to win. I was not playing for a draw. I just wanted to win. So I went for a King's Indian attack again. It was a relatively slower game, but the opponent, who was really strong actually, I was watching his other games and he was really good. But in this game, he somehow, I think the last match that he had played, he should have won. He had a queen, and he had 7 seconds on the clock, and he ended up playing for the win, and he lost on time. So he didn't lose on time because the opponent had no pieces left. It was a draw. So it was like a very weird match, and I kind of could sense that he was kind of pissed from last match, and he was not very into the match, so it was affecting him. But I think that could be probably a reason why he didn't play his best. But yeah, it was a decent match still. I'll show you how that game went. So Chat GPT again. I said Chat GPT, bro. What the fuck is wrong? It's chess.com. Things I played at a 90% accuracy, and again, I had a game rating of 2450. I like this actually. I really like this. Whenever it says 2450. Hopefully, I get 2450 on chess.com or FIDE very soon. And I'm actually gonna really work on my chess because I'm loving this era of me playing chess. It's very fun. So, okay, let's get into the analysis. Again, King's Indian attack went for it, went for it, and just simple moves, almost all book moves. And this is the part where I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna copy you. Don't ask me why. I just was like, I'm gonna copy you. And when he played this, and I was like, okay, if you're letting me play knight d5, which is a good move. I realized that when I played the move because it will open up his king side. And opening up his king side is great for me. But he, yes, at this point he just, I don't know, try to bring his rook out. Already could have taken on this at this point, which would have opened up his file, and I was counting on it. But before that, I tried to push h3, which, yeah, I don't know if I should have, but I just did it anyways. And he ended up exchanging a few pieces, which gave me a better position, in fact. And there isn't much he can do. Maybe rook e6 is something he could have gone for. That was still ended up him in an open file. But yeah, he didn't do that. This is where I think he made a mistake. He played h6. So h6 is not a move he should have played. So he played h6, and then I ended up taking his knight with my knight because it checks him, and he has to take it with his pawn, or he loses queen. And now I get a free pawn. So after this, my goal is just one thing. You are a pawn up, and his king side is open. Either you can attack him and try to win like as quickly as possible, or play a slow game. This is the last game. I don't want you to blunder anything. Play a slow game and win because you are a pawn up. So I chose to play a slow game, and I just went to exchange pieces. And he, in fact, was very happy to exchange pieces, which I don't understand why. And yeah, from this point onwards, it was a very simple game of chess where I ended up um, forcing him to exchange a few pieces here and there, and it went to an end game. And it was that one pawn which turned into a queen. Everything else was off. He had a king, I had a king, and I had a pawn which turned into a queen, and he ended up resigning. So that's how the tournament ended. I was very happy. I thought I actually won the tournament because I played on board one, and I also won the last match. So, but unfortunately, it did not work that way. Due to book holes, I came second, and I was pretty happy with that. I was pretty happy with that, even though first would have been even better. Yeah, the person who came first was in fact the coach who runs that club, who's conducting the tournament itself. So it's another coach. I played the first coach. It's the second coach. So he is conducting the tournament, and I don't know why he played, but he did play, and he also won the tournament. Yeah, it's something. But end of the day, it was great experience, and just I'm gonna continue playing Kings Indian, but I'm also gonna start learning other openings with the same comfort as I have with Kings Indian. And the next goal is, I have a few goals. One of it is to increase my rating both in FIDE and chess.com. The first goal is just getting to 2000 in both, and I'm at 1660 on FIDE, and I'm around 1500 on chess.com. So hopefully I increase it. Hey, what's funny is I got 1660 when I look like this, which is insane to me. Which is insane to me. So yeah, that's one thing I want to do. Learn few more openings and also share it with you guys. I also want to make lot more videos on here, and kind of I'm using this as like a diary. I feel I want to see how my chess journey continues, even though I'm doing it as a hobby now. I really love this hobby, playing chess, making videos. These are two of my hobbies put together. What more could I ask? So yeah, if you have reached until this point, I'm very happy. Drop, you know, your favorite food, and I would know that you watched the video fully, and that would make my day. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want to share this. I've yapped so much in this video. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.